Hey guys, welcome back to the Slice&Dice Podcast. I'm Jono.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Phil.
And the three of us are back together after 3 months of separation.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, it was...
Three little guys are back.
Three little guys back around the table.
3 months.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, 2 months ago was me, you and Alfie. Me, Sam and Alfie. Then it was next was Sam, Phil and James McNulty.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so that's 3 months of not having us three together. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original.
The chosen ones.
Oh, sorry, ding. I thought I put everything on mute.
Dude.
Soz. Wait,
You're like-
I'm putting do not disturb.
It's hilarious. You literally prepped everybody. Go, everyone's phone on silent, let's go.
You, not me.
Oh, I said, no, you were the one who was saying, has everyone your phone on silent?
That was me.
Oh, was it you?
Sam.
Oh, Sam.
Oh.
Okay, fair enough.
We're all just one guys here, aren't we? Do you even care?
We're all meld into one and just start talking. So,
The super being.
Well, that podcast started the way it's going to go on.
Damn, are these guys professionals?
so how are we all feeling now?
Good.
We're balls deep into Opus 25.
That's one way of saying it, yeah. I'm comfortable.
Comfortable in, I'm not going to say
I
what
didn't
said.
get new set jimmies on the levels that
You
I got
did
in the
that.
past.
Oh my god, you and I
You
were like
did.
the complete opposite.
Yeah.
You were like, what's your building journey this set, Sam?
I would just like get the good cards, play the good cards.
And you made
To be honest, like my first build of FS7 Earthfire was like mid. And like I enjoyed doing Archfiends, you know, like putting the new LB Archfiend into my Warp one and adapting it a bit, which was good, and I enjoyed playing some games on it. But I do think I want to push that in the direction of like dedicated to LB Golbez and not just being like, and I play 4-wall, which is so boring. Like every new card is like, we can put this into 4-wall, we can put this into mono Earth. And I'm like, can we try and do something else?
Yeah.
You know.
I think with all the cards being spoiled and slowly coming out, we were like, everyone was hyped around certain cards opening up a new avenue. They've just closed back up again. It's like they were like, and no, it's just like it's not happening.
Yeah, like I've seen FF7 lists and Ice Lightning lists, both of which were hyped beforehand.
Yeah.
That have just got 4-1 in them. You know?
Yeah.
I was guilty of saying, "Oh my god, I can't wait to put Gilgamesh in Ice Lightning." Triple discard on my Sephiroth. But yeah, but you built your like 2 decks you're experimenting with like before the Opus had started.
Yeah.
And then there was like me. The week after we'd done pre-release, and I had to take apart all of my decks on Wednesday, so that I was like forced to make something new.
Yeah, you're having a real rough time.
I've got like my to sort box is like the size of a shoebox, and that's how many cards are in it from all the decks I had to take apart. But
Yeah.
I'm now. Yeah, there are new cards in my decks technically.
Yeah, it didn't help that you're moving house. That's one of the most stressful things you can do.
Yeah, my brain space is just taken up with stuff. But hopefully the next podcast I'd say probably not next podcast I've moved. Podcast after that I'll definitely have moved.
Yeah. Good.
Yes.
Well,
I wish you peace
that's
in your brain.
We've got more room for
Will
card
there be
games.
peace in your brain though? That's the thing.
We'll have more room for card games. So.
More room for card games. Yeah. I always think that when you make a move and you have to like then change all the addresses for shit that you've got to go through. It's like, have I missed this? Have I missed that? It's like so many things you've got to deal with.
That's a problem. House. That's a problem for later. Phil.
Of course,
right now.
Don't think about it. Sorry.
Current Phil is like solicitors go on holiday, move, and then when I move, I'll be like, oh no, now there's more things.
There's
more tasks for you. How brilliant! How wonderful!
And I'm here just like plugging more into your brain. Go think of this.
Every time my solicitor speaks to me, I'm like, what's the stack again? It's like, so on the stack first is this paperwork, and then it's this paperwork. When we resolve the stack backwards, more questions have been added.
You want that eject ability? You just cancel all of it.
Yes, dude. I was that new jet. Well, not new jet. What am I talking about? That jet with not the fire one, the water one. The special.
15,
special.
14.
Yeah,
I'll say he's 14.
14. Yeah. Yes, definitely 14.
Is it jet shot? The S ability?
Yeah, jet
Yeah.
shot. So it cancel like S ability.
Cancel whole stack.
My
It
God.
was so satisfying.
The entire like the idea of that was has been great, but it's so shit to play because it's like such a high
Big
cost.
5, it's like Clunksville, isn't it? Play this 5-drop. If some stuff happened, it might be acceptable.
Exactly. How many jects can I fit into my deck?
Still, the new Tidus might make him borderline playable, but probably not.
Yeah, kind of no. Yeah, I've looked at
we
that.
We got good bounce support these days.
Yeah. You need that for solicitors. Just bounce
support. Yeah, put solicitor back in their box. But yeah, no, I've got 2 decks now, but admittedly, one of them, I think they're both playing new LB cards, and one of them. So yeah, Scions is playing LB Sephiroth. Lol, that's all my new pet deck, and then Magissa is playing Volker and Machina and Red 13, I think. And a few other, and New Cloud and stuff. Yes. But yeah, they're all fun for now.
New Cloud's great.
I've only played against soldiers once against Jono. I need to play more soldiers.
Well, I wouldn't even call that a match because my deck is like currently sitting at 2 games. Like that's it. That's all I've done with that.
Yeah.
So
you didn't get any testing time, did you?
No, I haven't had a chance to come down.
Behind,
I haven't had a chance to come down. So I'm coming next week. This Thursday coming, and then
Jono at locals. Hell yeah!
Finally, get a chance to stretch my legs.
I'll be on holiday.
Yeah, you'll be hollering it up.
Yeah.
And then, so you're away for 2 weeks, are you? You're going to miss...
I'm away for 2 locals.
2 locals. So you're missing the Wednesday then?
Yeah.
So...
Yes. That's fine though.
Hey, I'll play by webcam if you can get like the Sheldon robot dice.
Wheel them in.
You just need to volunteer someone to actually do the things with the cards there.
Yeah.
No, it'd be fine.
So 30th of April, Wednesday locals. If
Wednesday
you're in
locals.
areas, come down.
Definitely.
Should be a nice Swiss.
Should be good.
Good players.
Yeah. I'm going to try and... I would like to TO this one just because I feel like I've sat out so many. I would like to help in the shop.
You usually TO and play pretty effortlessly, don't you?
Oh, it's mad.
Or maybe TO.
Yeah. Just sit with a laptop next to you and go, what did you do? Cool. Done. It's easy. But yeah, no, it's going to be good. I think with the whole, as the sets come out, I've kind of like sat pretty just watching things happen. I've built obviously the soldiers deck 3-color, which I think is, we've just been talking, it might not be a 3-color deck anymore, but we'll see. The whole notion of soldiers seems to, like, that's the one of the decks that I thought, oh, here's a new avenue, but I think it's just gone and collapsed in on itself. I haven't seen soldiers like that new Sephiroth is. Everyone's going, oh, it's going to be a Clive card. Everyone's going to be spending top bucks for it, and they probably have.
It has, yeah. It's like 30 to 40 insert currency here per copy.
Probably the most loved villain in the.
I think
IP,
so.
right?
You might be buying it for the card name, maybe, yeah. But at the same time, I've not seen it do anything yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've not seen...
People are just putting it in Rugagine, Rufus decks. It's just like...
Yeah, that feels like a cop-out.
It's boring gameplay.
It feels like a cop-out. It feels like it should be used for more niche things, but again, yeah.
You want a really fun, creative version of it, don't you?
Yeah, of course, because why not?
How dare you have fun with ice cards?
Yeah, I'll always get punished, though, for having fun.
You'd start playing Earth Ice slow control.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be your new style.
Yeah.
Well, you have done a bit of Earth Ice in the past.
I have done Earth Ice. My Earth Ice flavour was when you mentioned Tulian with New Zaid.
Yeah.
So back attack Zaid that comes in, choose Tulian to attack, get something to attack first.
Yeah.
And then when they swing, go, nope, I'm going to use play Zaid.
Manipulate them.
Yeah.
That Zaid card messes with my brain because I read it.
Yeah.
It's one of those cards that, like, I read. I'm like, yes, I know what that does. And then I go, swing, and they're like, choose what to kill. I'm like, no! I was like, I read the card and everything, and I still did it.
We've all been there.
It's like, and then I'm like, I guess I can bring it back up.
Yeah, there's definitely a card that's going to cause more headaches than help.
But I think at the moment the Opus has gone like the way that I expected so far, like a modicum of Sephiroth lists, Yuna everywhere.
I didn't read Yuna and go, well, this is going to mess with the meta, but it seems to be doing that.
It's just so it like costs 2 CP and the amount of text on that card.
Yeah. Just turn all your forwards into interaction.
Yeah, basically.
It's kind of stupid that they looked at Tyvas and would go, we'll do you one better on a lower rarity. Like, I mean, Tyvus is great for 0, but what I'm saying...
Well, what about Light Yuna?
Light Yuna is
Light Yuna.
2 CP
I thought you were
Light...
talking about Ice Yuna.
No.
I was like, that's the one that came to my head.
No, 2 CP like Ice Yuna is like a control card.
Yeah.
Light Yuna.
No, I can see that, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's being played. It's been shoved into. So we've got Sean with his list locally. Won't spoil his source too much, but then we've seen a lot of lists that are just running any amount of 2-drops that it can fart out.
So yeah, people are doing 2-drop Vikings and Miwa. You know, obviously Miwa's insane with that card.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting because it preys on like control decks that aren't having loads of removal early game. But then, almost if it's going to be a Yuna meta. Mono Fire coming in hot. With new Cloud as well. We're getting some percentage points against everything.
Absolutely. I mean, just one CP for it is just enough, isn't it? Just go kill. But then it's
Brynhilde. But I mean, my first instinct was to build a backup with like 14 backups that kill things. They all cost 2 or 3. Like they're all perfectly budgetedly fine.
Like Megissa's mostly prepared for Yuna already.
Is already great.
It's great.
Yuna,
because like the American Materia Cup we've seen at the moment is like basically mostly Yuna meta, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
loads of them.
The funny thing is that you play Volker in your Megissa list. So if you were to play Volker early turn, say you've gone second or something, they play down Yuna and another forward to try and tax you out. You're still paying 8 for it, if you know what I mean. You don't feel bad to play Volker on 8 CP
if they've only got 1 tax available.
Yeah, this is the problem with like Yuna. If they have like 6 forwards out, they've got 3 abilities.
How easy is it to get out 6 forwards in that in one turn?
What you do is you play like 2 drops every turn.
So you play like other cards that aren't Yuna, and then the moment you put Yuna out, it just makes the whole board interaction. Plus the scary thing with Vikings, I haven't played against, but I can understand it theoretically. There's a really high chance they can play Miwa. So even though you're like, haha, they've only got, I don't know, 4 forwards, one of them is Yuna. Oh, they've got 2 taxes. I'm pretty happy I can pay the tax. They'll go Dole 2, make you pay more. Dole 2, make you pay more. Miwa, back attack, reactivate, then make you tax again. Sean made me pay 6 CP for something once. I just went through going, go on, how much can you tax me in this interaction? I was trying to cast a summon, and he just kept on making me pay more for it. I was like, lol. But it creates.
I think the Light Yuna in those decks, it creates some, like the games I had against Sean where he was playing Light Yuna. That was very interesting because I was just going back up. So by the time I wanted to interact with his stuff, I was keeping all of my backups open, like about 4.
Yeah.
And I was pitching from hand to play things to kill stuff. And he's like, pay. And I'm like, pay. He's like, pay. And I'm like, pay. Because I prepared ahead of time for the situation. So I think I like anything that creates a fun puzzle that isn't like just overwhelmingly powerful. It's fine. And I also think it dies to fire backups and stuff. So it's interesting because you'll get a meta. You might end up with a meta where Mono Fire is good in rooms because it almost feels like the new Chaos, doesn't it? Like players love an aggro deck where they get easy wins and stuff. So like, you know, you might get rooms now where people on Fire will have a great run through, but then Fire often can lose to the control decks that do unfair shit.
Yes, so, it feels like Fire will be the new sort of like, say, Knight aggro kind of thing that does well. It comes like top cut, but then it never wins kind of thing.
We'll have to see how Mono Water plays into Light Yuna, to be honest, because that was always the deck that beat the aggro decks.
Yes.
But it feels like Fire is better against Light Yuna than Water.
So if you're saying that Light Yuna is being fitted into like aggro decks, but they're using their forwards to do the things that need to cancel stuff. Where's the aggro? Well,
that's it. It feels weird because you've got an opponent with 8 forwards and they're still going to have to take ages to kill you.
Like the term,
it's control.
That's the thing. I don't see it like throwing out all forwards and no backups. We deem as aggro because you're just chucking out a load of forwards. But if you're not actually aggroing, like being aggressively attacking,
they're kind of suffocating you, so it feels different to aggro.
Yeah, because they'll just get you out of resources, and the moment they've gone, the moment they've got you to a point you're so suffocated you can't play, then they attack with all the things they've been controlling you with. If they really wanted to, it's very, and that's what I've seen happen a few times.
Well, this is where so Alfie was playing Sean before I'd played him, and he was like, oh, it's just control. It's a control deck, and I was like, I turned around, and I was like, 50 forwards control deck? Question mark. How is that a control deck? And I'm like, okay, I can see how people would see it that way.
You definitely want, if you want to be aggro, in my opinion, you want lots of things that have brave so they can keep up and attack whilst dulling to control.
It's aggro in the sense that they're getting a lot of forwards down early, and you've got to respond to forward pressure. Whereas if they're putting down loads of backups, you're like, oh, well, I too can do my backups, and then I can save up for my LB Toto or my Tidus or my other things.
It's just a different way of playing the game, isn't it? And
so far I found it interesting and not toxic, but we'll see how it feels a few months down the line. You know?
Absolutely,
it's really fun to play with, and Sean is curating his list every week, and it makes it more interesting, honestly.
I mean, he did a lot of that with the 2CP Ice Sarah Mobius.
It's in there.
Yeah, I'm assuming it would be, because why not? And also,
multi-vanille's in there.
Multi-vanille. So it's like three 2 costs that dull and tax for auto abilities.
Yes, you were saying how fast can it go? A deck with light Yuna in it. I'm trying to keep it constructive for podcasts and stuff. I'm trying to remember this. Is like, imagine his typical turn 1 play can be play Shelk play multi-vanille. Oh, you're like, okay, I can get through like 1 vanille tax, I'll play some just to get some momentum. Next turn, assuming that someone's got light Yuna in hand, they play another forward for 2CP, which is very doable because these are all cheap cards. And then you play the light Yuna as well, and you've got two Yuna taxes, and you've got 2 Yuna taxes there, but you could always play another 2CP forward, and you've got like vanille 2 Yuna taxes. It's very cheap to get online.
And it's using I don't know if we should say, I think it's fine. Like, it's using the 4-drop Gulluf that reveals 2 drops and plays them.
So
there's a lot of like, ways to cheat in.
It sounds
good. Baby Kirin. Because I played it in that cube one, so I was like, look at me go. But I think the meta's going the way I expected it to go. Admittedly, I'm seeing Archfiends.
But there's also some support, but we won't spill that particular part. But it has ways of doing things that like combo with Yuna and stuff, so it's good.
It's super cool. But we've not seen too much Archfiends. I've seen it locally, like a lot of people picking them up because it just looks so cool. It does. It looks really cool. It plays in like unconventional ways, but I haven't actually looked at the Materia Cup list yet. I've not seen a lot of Archfiends.
No, like you think that it would be nuts, like playing in their turn and on your turn, playing Archfiends off Golbez. Like, I mean, I had that experience doing that in pre-release, and I felt really disgusting doing that, especially for a sealed event, having Golbez and then opening up a load of Archfiends. It just feels like, well, that's a very surefire win. In that setting.
Oh, it was in the pre-release.
That's what I mean. Like in a sealed event. So it'd be interesting to see, like, where that sort of heads, because I know you were very interested.
Well, I mean, like, so I jammed it into my warp list, and it's like fine. I've got loads of early pressure if I want to warp in a slowish way, and then obviously I can slap LB Golbez before my warp Golbez enters. So I've got this like big board of fiends and stuff, but it doesn't feel like there's like anything big happening there. Like, it doesn't feel like well support. It's pulling in 2 directions. I did think about doing Earth Wind Golbez, but I'm starting to think you need an element. Like, LB Golbez can put great early removal and pressure, so I'm starting to think you have to have like ice or something to support him to crush the like opportunities of the ambitious decks.
Right. Okay.
So I'm just trying to think of how to best support this card. Is quite interesting to me.
It was great in pre-release, just testing him out, just testing the waters with whatever you got given in the pre-release kits. And it felt so strong to be able to play LB Golbez.
Gelbez.
Gelbez.
Go Gelbez.
She's my girl.
Words.
Gelboss Bears.
Yeah. The phonics of that word is very strong. So the playing Rubicante, I was trying to get off the tongue. Rubicante. Just seemed ridiculous when, say you go into combat. An opponent goes into combat, you can just pay the cost and it comes straight out of a deck and slap and kill something before attacks.
Cagnazzo does the attack on entry. Rubicante says when Golbez swings do 8 occasionally.
Yeah.
So they're both good. But the Kagmazo's instant speed removal.
Yeah.
That was the one. Yeah.
The interesting thing that happened in pre-release, it's still happening, because I've overheard it at locals like 2 weeks in a row, is that it's more newer players, is that everyone, including myself, was like, oh yeah, Golbez doesn't tap. Like, no. So he's sideways, and then your opponent like pays for Golbez's thing on the stack, and then you look at him and go, oh yeah, he doesn't tap. Like, it's just a card that inherently should tap. At that speed. Like, it's just...
you read the card and you're like, where's the downsides on this card?
It's so cracked.
It's a 3 CP essentially, because it's an LB card.
Yeah.
A 3 CP 9k that can bring in an Archfiend at instant speed every turn, in your own turn and your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
What?
But I look forward to seeing some more variety though. This Opus thing. I've seen, like, I need to watch I'm behind on Deck Tech talks and Cactuar videos and stuff. But like, I know that Chaos has now got still got ways to go. Like, Chaos can still work. Like,
Seems interesting.
The Steve D deck techs, I've like watched them all right away, and they're pretty good, pretty freaking nice.
That's basically the Magissa list that I'm running, minus like, I think I need to change because it's the new Ifrit that I took it out like for the free cast Ifrit from Opus 19, and now I'm like, the other Ifrit is better but obviously costed. Because like, why would you not kill a thing and trigger Magissa? Why wouldn't you?
But here's a deep cut for what I want to try next. New Fanfrit. I want to make also new Kraken.
Yeah,
Kraken.
New Kraken. 2-drop Rydia from Opus 15. Une. Siren. So low forward count, 19 summons.
So new
Fanfrit.
So new Fanfrit says, before paying the cost to cast Fanfrit, the Darkening Cloud, you can remove 1 water backup you control from the game to reduce the cost by 2. Choose 1 auto being triggered from a forward. Put the forward into the break zone.
Draw a card. Don't forget to draw a card.
That just says, like, literally put your opponent's head on an anvil and hammer it when they trigger an auto.
Though they hammer you at the same time if it's a damaging auto.
Yeah. So I got my Siren on board
because it's not cancel the auto.
Yeah, it doesn't cancel.
Most things coming into the field are an auto these days.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
So I'm just sat there with maybe a Kraken or Rydia on board, maybe with 4 counters. I'm free casting this Kraken and drawing. And then my Siren's just like flip. You know, I've got my 9 forwards and then I search 4 of them out by the time we're on turn 4, and you're just like, I just love those decks.
So
it sounds good in theory, doesn't it? But like, we'll see about reality.
Sort of goes into that same concept of what you were talking about on the last podcast with James, with almost mill in some ways. Forcing them into a corner by having to like reduce the amount of forwards they have on the field and all that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty sure James might go in for that Fanfrit, to be honest with you.
It works as a mill card a bit. I would say I was also loving that Kraken and Une both attack backups. Imagine you're against this summoning deck with like with hardly any forwards, and you're like a 4-wall deck. You're just like, right, I'm chilling, and then you just keep like getting your backups bounced, and you're just like, Jesus, I could even put 3-drop Heck in, right? It'd suit the deck a lot, actually.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just getting over enthusiastic about things that haven't been vaguely tested. You know how it be.
You're allowed to. There's no hard rule about not fantasizing about a deck.
Yeah. Tell you what would ruin that deck, like Yuna.
No, you're not allowed any of those things that you've just said.
Locals has been pretty cute recently. We've had quite a few. We were saying beforehand to Jono that we've had quite a few larger locals recently, because we don't do our Swisses every week. We've had like an average of 10 probably per locals since pre-release and around pre-release, which has been decent. We've had and I think the story at the moment is that we had a player just come in off the street, hadn't spoken to Store before, hadn't interacted online in the communities anywhere, and just said, hello, that game looks cool, I'd like to come play. We were all just sitting there at locals, and Sam hadn't turned up yet, so it was like me, Sean, and 2 or 3 others, and this person just like, FF? And I was like, yes, FF. Who the flip is that? And they're like, can I play a game? And I'm like, have you told anyone? Like, who did you speak to? What community did you come from? They're like, I just came off the street. And it's...
Who are you?
So that was like really cool. Jack, our latest person, who's like coming to our locals, which is super nice.
Yeah.
And they're sort of a good diving in head first, buying cardboard. And
it's so nice when a
decks,
newbie's just like got the fixation, and you're just like, let us supply you with the cardboard.
I think that's that is a thing when you look at your bulk and you go, I've got no one to hand this to because everyone's got everything, and you just go, I've got no people to throw cards at. Just shut the box at your head.
Jack's relatively spongy too, which is nice. You kind of say a thing and he's immediately like, oh right, so it would kill this, right? Or this card would work that way, and you're like, like cool, you understand the card straight away.
It's like our teacher side, who are like such a good learner.
Yeah, it is.
It's just the fingers coming together.
And then me, the bad teacher side, where I kind of go splurge on teaching material. He goes, yes, I understand all of that. No, I don't.
Did he have any TCG experience before? I've not.
Yes,
met
he
this
plays.
said person.
He plays Flesh and Blood, which is how he actually found FF, because he was playing Flesh and Blood one day, and he went to the till and was like, "What's that box?" It was one of the pre-release boxes for Tears of the Planet. Someone who wasn't Sam that was on shift was like, that's Final Fantasy TCG, and they were like, that's rad, I'll buy that. He bought it, went home, looked at the cards, liked it, and then came into store the next week to play locals.
Nice.
Such an organic, like I bet Alex, like, listening to this, like, yes, marketing.
Do it. We need more posters. We need more everything. Like make Aerith big on a wall, and everyone will go, that's a game.
I just imagine Aerith being on like the you know, like how tall the walls are at Dice Cup. I just imagine giant Aerith from floor to ceiling.
That'd be so good, wouldn't it?
If that was the case, I think we would be selling out a bit quicker of Tears of the Planet for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's really nice to have him, and locals is like we're getting a lot more, let's say, mid-core players at the moment, which is nice. But it's definitely making a more varied locals because we're getting people just playing stuff and experimenting constantly.
I really appreciate our little influx of newer players. It's just like, so good.
Yeah. Then we had Cube as well, like some newer players doing Sam's commons in Pauper Cube.
My Pauper Cube, I can't count, not the best at organising, so we ran it with 7 players.
and Sam and I had the best match we ever had in Pauper in Cube, and I was like, oh,
that was such a good game. It's a shame we ended it with a dice roll. Don't listen, judges.
I was on like Earth, Wind, Ice?
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, Ice with 1 ice backup because my Earth and Wind solved me. I pulled the Gullwings engine with the new Ice Yuna. I pulled Earth Mirror 1 CP Mirror with 12 monster targets.
Nice.
And then pulled like enough generic Wind stuff that was nice. And I pulled 3 ways to recur said mirror.
Wow.
I think I played it against you twice, I think.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
And Sam was in like the same colours, and we went to time and we're like both on 6 damage or something weird like that. I don't know.
I was on Lightning, Earth, Wind with a splash of fire.
Yeah, but you just had like better end game options when we looked at like the next 3 turns, and it was like, I'm not getting the last damage out here.
It was really hard to call it, wasn't it? I could recur my Ramsar. I had a knight backup in Earth. Yeah. And I had knights on board, so I could be playing 7-drop Ramsar.
I think that is the best list I've ever built. That I was like well proud of that.
There's a good screenshot of that game, wasn't it? Oh, it's a picture.
Yeah, you took a picture of that. I had like my colour correctors and everything, and my Moogle curve because I got stilt skin.
Me and you both had a very smooth. I think my deck had more removal than yours. Question.
Yeah, you did.
I know that you struggled with your subsequent games.
I had a lot of combat tricks and like zombie and mirror and things like that. No true removal. Had a little bit. But
you need the removal to survive the aggro.
The best thing though was the Carolina one. Like somebody knew. Carolina's winning with water lightning out of nowhere. Like what the fuck?
It's so funny when you're playing lower power stuff because you're like basically I collapsed to a 2 CP haste ninja. You know.
No, the pressure.
Yeah, I was like on damage 3 or something, and my hand was just full of monks who didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd just drawn all my like chaff, and I was like, I think what I had to do was be really chill and like know that I was going to get bounced and go to damage 6 and like play an Aldo and hopefully go towards a better play. Just sit there and get smacked right to damage 5, you know. We were playing to damage 6, so to damage 5. But I like thought about it for too long and panicked and just went monk, and, like with Ash and like 6-drop Matt.
Yeah.
It was the worst play. But then she was so happy. It was just so nice to see.
That's good. That's
Similar
good.
like
We all
I
signed a Mist Dragon from last season.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
like fucking 5 of those in my folder.
That's so good.
Similar, like you folded to a card, and like I played against Nate, and you and I had this incredible game. I was like mega convinced
Yeah,
that my
well,
deck
we
was
both just went to 5 backups, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like gentleman's game.
And then I like went against Nate and folded to like Earth, Wind, Gudon.
yeah.
Fuck this
I
card.
mean, that's one of the best aggro cards in the cube.
I could
to be
just
fair.
like a 4 CP 9k.
Isn't it 9K as
cube,
well? Yeah.
attacks
For fuck's
twice.
sake.
Can't be doled by abilities, which is basically my whole deck. And then I put out 1 CPU in and had like, you know, that moment where we had that person ages ago we made the fire deck for. I was like, I'll make them think by playing Bounce Teedus, and they board wiped me. I did the same with Nate. I was like, I'm gonna play 1 CPU in and let Nate read this card, and Nate just like outed Ewan in 1 turn. And like I got out of Ewan's loop, like the 1 CP one that goes to damage, and so I was like, hate my life. Ewan was like my one thing that could remove me.
I often struggle to like get out of that loop. What did they do then? Because if you
Let me remember. I can search Ewan.
because I think if they used removal
When Ewan
and he goes on top of the deck,
When
then
Ewan-
you just draw him next turn, don't you?
Oh, he bounced him. Yeah, they bounced you into my hand, and I was like, great, that is not my break zone, nor my damage zone.
Okay.
Thanks for
Well,
that.
that's kind of unlucky that they had bounce, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was the same sort of clairvoyant moment of they had perfect removal, and it was like, my god.
yeah. Brutal.
But I just loved Cube. Good time.
It's solid. It's so like we're gonna organise it again. And by the way, shout out to Sarah from YYT. She was it Gale FFTCG?
Gale FFTCG on YouTube.
That's her YouTube channel, which is really good. Check it out. And yeah, she was doing a card rating.
Yeah.
I just had that on in the background at some point, and she was like looking at Chimera Brain, and she was like,
"Oh yeah," because
she shouted me out. So I'll counter shout out. I did put it in the Pauper Cube, and
yeah, I saw. Like, I think I either drafted it or saw it and was like really torn as like a target.
yeah. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty good in Pauper Cube. Yeah, and Gale FFTCG does quite a few nice sort of like deck theory videos rather than deck techs. And they break up. And if they do a deck video, they break it up into segments of like card types and stuff and explain the packages, which I really like. So
Yeah.
definitely worth checking out Gale FFTCG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I suppose we've gone through locals. We don't normally spend that long on locals. That's like half an hour of locals chat. I love that.
Yes, I guess with competitive season coming up and
soon TM.
No solid announcements, sadly.
But we've got a certain Scotsman who is encouraging via memes to see if we get that.
We need this encouragement.
I think yesterday's was like the superhero one, the American. I can't remember the name. Homelander, and it's been like NA Materia Cup looking at UK, and then the one before that was just like sad Kermit like. But yeah, I suppose we'll move on to that.
Because we've got 2 Materia Cups in the UK.
Yeah, one in Scotland and one in UK.
Yeah, well, Scotland is part of the UK.
Scotland and England.
Scotland and England. And I definitely want to be able to go to the Scottish one because I didn't manage to go to Scotland's. Was it Materia Cup or Crystal Cup or something like that they had up in Scotland before? They did a Winter Cup, Summer Cup, wasn't it? They had a Summer Cup.
Oh, did they? I don't think I went to that because I don't remember it, but maybe I did.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to go and do that in YYT home turf.
I did go to an event in Glasgow a few competitive sets ago, and it's good in. Is that Highland Games or something?
So Highlander Games is in Dundee, then in Glasgow is West End Games.
West End.
It used to be a few, like maybe I'm going to guess like 2 years ago. Plus, it used to be the Geek Retreat, but the FFTCG community doesn't support that Geek Retreat anymore.
I endorse this message.
For all we'll say is obvious reasons. If you know, if not.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
And they were also playing out Tokyo Toys, so they've been playing. they've jumped around a lot. Like they've done Tokyo Toys now. They're
the reasoning does matter, but it's not for podcasts. So West End Games and then Highlander. I know that like at least between those stores they'll get like the Materia Cup or their local qualifier. So either way, there'll be events to go to at those stores. Because I know that Highlander has been talking about having got something.
Yeah.
But all we know at the moment, I think, is what it says on the FF pages is is just
We haven't got anything, have we?
well, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
But
When will they tell? when will they spill the beans?
All it says on the Final Fantasy pages, hence the memes, is
Yeah.
that the local qualifiers will start from mid-April through to August. So we are currently in mid to late April and nothing yet. But we can talk about what we have to look forward to. So we've got...
When last season's celebrations used to get you a buy for Euros or something.
Yes, they did.
Or a buy for a regional.
Yeah, buy for
Which is like, it's not really.
Whereas now I think it's all just Euros based, I'm guessing. I'm not quite sure. But we've got local qualifiers and it's mainly the promos I think I'm excited for personally.
Yeah.
So top 16 at local qualifiers get a full art LB Leo, let's go. So much.
Are we being pranked full art?
I just love Alfie's thing of like, look at all the art that it's adding. The full art is showing us so much more artwork. It's like on any card that came out in the Legacy collection, it's like, look at this Moogle, you can see more around the Moogle. But then genuine actual good full art is for top 8 of local qualifiers is that Water Lightning card named Lightning. Oh my god, I need a play set of that.
She's slaying in that dress.
She absolutely is. And then top 4 is from, it says either or, and like from a certain date.
So basically the first half of competitive season will be Thancred, and then the second half of competitive season leading up to Euros.
Road to Worlds.
Road to Worlds is Axstar.
Multi-Axstar.
33 drop,
Yeah.
And the multi-7 drop Thancred, which is great because that card needed reprinting. So
there was definitely a chance of that.
It's technically a reprinting.
Yeah.
Because they'll go down.
Then the top 2, is it top 2?
Yep, top 2 get the Leviathan playmat. That's the new from the artist that you like.
I'm drooling. It's like, if any, I'm pretty sure that that price of the playmat is going to be ridiculous. But I want it so bad. I want it so bad. It looks so gorgeous, like the art style, and especially because it's FF9 as well. And best girls on the front. It's great. It's great.
Leviathan best girl. Leviathan best girl.
Grind FFTCG.
I'm gonna have to
do a month of 3 hours sleep.
Fuck the family. They can go and survive on their own. I'm blowing all my money on practicing to get that playmat. Yeah.
And then the odd one I find is that for the first place is this season's terror. Is Van.
Yeah.
Like, it's a multi-van, and I don't know how good that van is.
Wasn't it Opus 12?
It's just like a really mid-van. Like, I'll read it out. I'll find it and read it.
What, the EX one?
No, not EX one. The
Opus 14 Legend. Wind, Water, 6-drop, 8k. When
that one, the main Sky Pirates.
Yeah. Enter the field, search for a Sky Pirate of cost 2 or less, and play it onto the field. Then activate all your backups. When a Sky Pirate you control is chosen by summons or abilities, activate up to 2 backups.
I mean, Sky Pirate's not meta,
card.
but yeah.
Beautiful looking card. Like, the card itself is just nice to look at.
Maybe this is a hint that they're planning to release some more powerful Sky Pirates. Because that deck only needs like a new power card to come back in.
Yeah, I didn't realise that deck is also called like Sky Pies.
Sky Pies I've heard.
I saw some people talking about like I was reading your face like Sky Pies?
What?
Hear that awful Skype sound.
Rest in peace, Skype. It's not a thing anymore. It's gone.
Is it really?
Yeah, completely gone. Microsoft killed it earlier.
Forever in our hearts, I guess.
Yeah.
And then everything at the Materia Cup is exactly the same in terms of pricing, except top 4 get a Tidus playmat.
No, same cards are on offer, but different requirements for like when.
Of course, but same build up, as in like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
But then instead of the Levy playmat, it's the Tidus playmat.
The top 4, then that top. To be fair, and I know I haven't put it on our notes, but for like top 2, I believe it's like an amount of sealed product from the Tears of the Planet or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
But then that top, to be fair, that is a first prize worth winning. 025 foil set, which includes signature Aerith. Like, it's a massive prize for Materia Cups.
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have any detail on like what LCQ will be, but I think one of the unfortunate jokes going around is like, guess I'll see you at LCQ. Like LCQ is the one event we get this year.
So depressing.
Already looking forward to LCQ because nobody can attend, but hopefully whatever does come out is, hopefully we can.
Honestly, it's a shame because I really enjoy the the qualifier, like the regional. The store championship type.
Well,
to travel out to the smaller ones.
Going back to when we were doing, because I mean, last year was store champs, right? And before then it was we had regionals back then, And it was really nice to be able to like you say, travel to these independent stores.
Yeah.
All around the country, just visiting and seeing what people's locals were like.
Yeah.
And seeing like, this is where you play. Oh, that's cool. Like just getting to know the community in your region, your city, or not city, sorry, but like your country. It's something that I missed anyway. But it's not so like pushed now. Like you have.
We're a bit worried, aren't we? That
Definitely.
like that it's not going to be as bountiful as last season, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to miss if they announce anything for like whilst I'm on. I knew I was missing the start of the season anyway because I'm away until like the start of May. But even when I land and come back, it's like I come back like first week of May, and then if there are events in May, I've got like a week to prep and can I make it, etc. Which is everyone's in that boat, to be fair. So.
Like I'm in the States with the family, June till beginning of July. I know that's going to be a hot time to be able to put a materia cup in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hey, you could do an American materia cup.
Yeah, like, Florida.
Honestly,
is Tampa,
do it.
Is Tampa actually going to be local? No,
I don't think you're allowed to, are you?
I'm Orlando. You can.
Well, not allowed to do them.
You're allowed to travel.
Yeah, I think you can do them, but it might be the qualification, might not.
Internationally, I think, because you're talking about, you can travel to the European ones, we can travel to like France and that sort of stuff. But you're talking about internationally, that it would be a question mark.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I'll have time. I'll be too much doing Disneying.
You can't do a McNulty and just go to another locals in another country and just rinse them.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, if you listen to the podcast, the two decks that McNulty has been sort of championing, well, the main one being Warriors and then his mill deck, he took to Japan.
Yeah, so he's gone on Japan. He's gone to Japan with his partner and I think a friend. And he won't mind me telling this story because it's funny. And he went to one locals and I believe he won it. And he quote unquote played the deck of power, which is his Earth Warriors build. And I said to him, "Oh, I bet your partner loves that you're on holiday and playing FFTCG," thinking the answer would be no. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
And the response was, he told me when I left for the locals that if I didn't win, not to turn up at the airport.
Nice.
But then I think he played Mill, the second locals. I think it was along the lines of to give them a chance and have some fun.
Oh, bless him. Mill chance, yeah.
But yeah.
That Mill deck's way stronger than I imagined a Mill deck would be in Opus 25,
Giving
24.
them a chance with that Mill deck is not necessary. That's a contradictory statement.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway, from my experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need some actual time to get prepared for all of this stuff that's kind of supposedly happened this year. It's like we're still sat like it's still after December, going when you know what I mean?
Yeah, because France is kind of taking control of its own stuff, and this was interesting to me. The last 24 hours, it's been on Facebook, but France has already organised their own Materia Cup, but that's because the key person from Septième Dommage has links to distributors, therefore can kind of cut certain queues and whatever. So France are kind of getting ahead and being really good actually, and people from Septième Dommage in France are going, we're happy to put people up, we're happy to show you local accommodation, but it's still for some people €300-400 to just get over there and pay for it. But to be fair, that's the problem they'd face with us, so it's much of a muchness.
What's the dates for the French ones? Do you know?
I can find it really easily because I know where it is, but it's just so here's the.
In my head, I'm just road trip question.
13
I don't think I'm here.
13-hour drive.
Materia Cup France,
Lyon.
In Lyon on the 25th of May. And they're adding information as they go about best of one or whatever. It's on the post. It's done by Clement Ned in the TCG Europe, but 25th of the 5th in Lyon. I think it's the standard conversation that's always had in our locals is somebody asks French how long David how far, and he's like, oh, because you're in France, and can I get there in my car? It's but Lyon's the south of France, right? It's the further away. But...
I think someone shared a screenshot of their Google Maps, and it was 13.5-hour drive from Nantes.
Yeah, but I'd only road trip because Nate can speak semi-fluent French.
Oh, really?
I'd be Nate, ask Nate to speak French, and they'll just they normally say things and look like dejected, or it's probably some form of like French banter that we don't understand as English banter. And I'm just going to say it, and you're like, oh, okay. They're fluent enough to banter.
Yeah, that's cool.
I would road trip if it was like really, if it was cheap, but it's still like, my God, I know that I'm going to France to like go X3 or something ridiculous, and just like, and then I'll get like my French LB Leo with participation and be like, great. By the way, with the French LB Leo, I don't want. If it was English, I'd be like, yeah, sure. But
it's all about those competitive slots, you know. It's all about getting qualification spots, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you've got to be in the running for those in your brain to like motivate yourself.
Maybe I would be okay with. Oh, no, I bet I'm moving. I bet that's something. I bet I'll be moving. I'd be like, oh, you know what? I could go to that, and then I have to move.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
It's. I think it's. You know, you're right with sort of timings, because we can be trialing these decks that we've been trialing for however long, and then an event comes up and it goes, oh, new set. Well, I know new set's not until August, but you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like you've exhausted all your options, and I suppose I think the beauty of it being such big gaps between sets now, because they have been pushing gaps between sets. It's not been every 4 or 5 months. It's not been every 3-4 months, which we've have had before, which has been 3 months, then 4 months, or something like that, depending on times of year and quarterly. But I feel like the gap between March and August is huge compared to what it has been before.
Fair. Yeah, you're a better gauge of that than I.
Yeah.
You've experienced it, or are we just getting older?
Is time flying?
The passage of time is just you're like. It's like, where did my Opus 1 cards go?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, speaking of Opus 1, Shantotto's taken a dive. You know what I mean?
Like, in terms of playability.
She's not seen him as much anymore.
She's still good, but yeah, it's just like...
I just think that if you don't release dates soon, you're gonna get people like rioting.
It's more that I think it will just... The later it's left... overall for dates, it just means it's only locals competing at their local scene, which is the sad thing, because everyone does want to travel, and that's the thing I think always gets forgotten, is that people love to visit each other in this UK in the UK community. And I wish it could extend more into Europe. I think all of us are facing the same problem. We're very privileged that we have an active island of players. You know, so often we get things, I suppose, but yeah, we want to visit each other, and we want more reason to visit each other.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I don't think it's forgotten, but I think it's just a semantic difference, but it's not taken into account.
Yeah.
But I was having a chat with a few friends the other day of just like, we all have a day job, and whoever's day job it is to organise these things, we all deal with red tape in our own jobs, and it's unfortunate that the one time we don't want to tolerate red tape because it's a hobby that we love, but to someone else it's unfortunately probably a lot of red tape we don't understand.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But when we're sitting here with the factor of matter of like, there might be red tape, but it is late April, and like if you say anything for even the start of May now, it's not enough time.
No, not at all.
Because normally it means if an event is on a Saturday, you book off the Friday. If an event is on a Sunday, which is rare, you book off the Monday.
Exactly.
And some people have to book off both because of the amount of travel to and from.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I'm assuming the one in England most likely would either be Cardiff again or going down to London.
Yeah.
And so anyone in Scotland travelling down to London needs or even just Cardiff, you need a long weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Basingstoke or Preston would be, I would say, would be better places, because I'd say also us, because we're in the middle of the country almost. But like Preston or Basingstoke would also be good, because they're not as hard south or hard north. Like it's not Scotland and it's not London.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I think with us being very central to the country, I've always seen that as a plus for any events that could be sent our way, you know, because like I've said it to a few people, it's like if you've got Nottingham, well, not just Nottingham, but like Derby, like Midlands area is central. You could get so much more people coming because it's less to travel, less, you know. Obviously, you've talking, you know, those who are quite local, but also, you know, with having it in Scotland, having it in London, you've got the polar ends of the country, and you've got a lot of travel.
I think that's the one thing I'd like to see this year and in coming years is more, and it's having come from a different organised play provider with Yu-Gi-Oh, and I've seen it for Yu-Gi-Oh. I think for some reason there's a real, I don't think it's a bias, I just think it's like an easy choice for like certain venues in the UK for FF, and I think they're just, just need to be a bit more variety of venues, because there are lots of places, and I'm not saying because it could be Dice Cup, but literally I said Basingstoke, I said Manchester, you know, there's plenty of other places.
Absolutely.
I don't know, I wish they were being used for more events.
I think what you're looking at though is communities in the UK that are more active. You know, if you're saying Manchester, it might not necessarily, like Fanboys 3 are in Manchester. They are present, but they're not active like some of the other places in the UK at the moment. It could change, you never know. But if you chose Manchester, you'd have to hire out a hall. You have to, I mean, yes, that all that sort of stuff comes into play. But if
Is Fanboy not that big then?
Sorry?
Is Fanboy not that big then? They couldn't host like a local qualifier. That's what I mean. Not necessarily for Materia Cups.
Because my mind jumps to Materia Cups. So if you're talking local qualifier, then I suppose they have the option.
I wouldn't mind Materia Cups as well. At least like for them to be asked and stuff. Because it's just more variety. Because in the 2 years I've been here, the events have only been in the same places.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm ordering my third year now, and it's only the same venues.
But that's what I mean. That's why I think that's the case, is because it's been easy negotiation, easy sort of like we've done this before, just do it, because it's just quick and simple organisation. And also for a fact that these venues will set up quick for an event with hardly any time to prep. You know what I mean? It's
time, isn't it? Like you say, it's probably time.
And so if things are planned ahead easier, I know it's very hard to ask because we're not involved in, like you say, behind scenes, and there might be, you say, red tape and all that. If in an ideal world things were planned ahead, you would have the availability to check around local stores, check for availability for their stores, and and make it more inclusive for other stores. You know.
We don't really understand all the intricate red tape that could be going on, but it does seem a shame that we've got these like 100+ player venues that just aren't being used for some reason.
Of course,
There's nothing wrong with the existing venues, because that's definitely a comment I've heard before of like, well, the current venues are good at doing it. And it's like, they are, and it's nothing against them. It's just we'd like to do it somewhere else for a change. Because there are different conveniences at different places.
As much as we love Firestorm Games, and there's a beautiful store, and Cardiff is great, and actually the energy going to
Darksphere is crazy as well.
Yeah, it's just going to these places that and it feeling comfortable being there, because you're not having to go, all right, I know where my local shop is, I know where my local, you're comfortable because you know the place now because you've been so many times. So going to a new city is it could be like, oh, don't know what to do, new things, scary.
I think as well, like non-London venues that are big-ish are like great, like I remember when Nationals was at Sheffield, and it was like great.
Nationals 2019
really
was
nice.
good.
Sheffield's got massive venues.
But unfortunately, like a lot of the big
companies that are in that area.
A lot of the big venues are like, you've got your London events that are big, and you've got Firestorm, and then it's like, what else? Like I really enjoyed Gemini Games last season.
I love Gemini Games.
That was great, and like more shit like that would be amazing.
I think that's what I'm saying, is that they need to be more aware of these shops around, and I'm sure they are very aware of the shops around. I'm not saying that, but what I mean is that being open for hosting in terms of a large number of events. It
depends on it's a shame, because it just depends on how Asmodee do it, because it's Asmodee are the organised play partner, as from my understanding, and the way that Tournament Centre, I can't remember what they're called now, but they're not Tournament Centre. But what Tournament Centre did when I was doing Yu-Gi-Oh stuff was, and I knew it because I was speaking to the chap Ben Lovell, who now does Lorcana's organised play, is all the stores would be emailed in advance to be like, do you want to do it? And it's a very quick, and if you want to do it, here's the deadline of when you've got to tell us you want to do the event.
Imagine.
So that Tournament Centre, so that like, let's just say Yu-Gi-Oh, so that Yu-Gi-Oh could move on with their event schedule without stores holding them back. And I don't know if that happens with Asmodee. Like, do Asmodee say to email stores and say, hey, we're planning to, here's the season and when we want to do it, do you want to be in, like, I don't know, the lottery for maybe getting a venue? You've got to tell us by this date, otherwise we're just going to continue to do events without you. Like, it feels like that doesn't exist.
No.
Like,
I would agree.
So it's just like,
I mean, you working in the Dice Cup.
I've never seen any such email. Like
you've not had ruminations of anything going on around,
and that's
sort of like
I'm there searching the inbox, like,
and that's just like a bare minimum, because like there's no, it just needs to be who would be. It's a bit like spoiler season, right? Of like, The post goes out to say who would like to do a spoiler. Please vote on the poll, and I'll choose someone at random. But I'm gonna go ahead with spoiler season regardless of what the votes are.
Yeah.
That means that there's no time delays, right?
Yeah.
It's the same for tournaments. It's like, well, okay, we put it on the Square Enix website of when the tournament season's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Please put in your vote for when you want to do it.
Yeah.
But it's just. But
It
like
would be
I say,
nice, wouldn't it?
it would be really nice. It would be really nice, but I just wish I could peek behind the curtain to understand why that's not possible, or if it's happening. Why is it happening in a bad way?
Again, I feel like
it's my place of love.
I'm coming from a very pessimistic point of view now, but I think that's because we've gone through so much with this game so far that I'm just gone. Well, they've forgotten about us. You know what I mean? It feels very forgotten about, and I don't want to think that because I want to be able to be positive whenever it comes to this game. But you can't help but think there's not enough people thinking about the game. As much as I know that there are people thinking about the game, not knocking those who are and putting a lot of effort into it.
Yeah,
it just has that feeling.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it doesn't foster a positive feeling when everything seems late and minimal.
That's definitely the sentiment that people are having in comments is just this is standard.
Which is double annoying when we're managing to grow local communities and easily, and the game's fun. Yeah.
And good stuff is happening as well. Not organised player wise, but Square/promotion wise, because they did I can't remember the specifics of it. Again, it's on the Facebook UK and Europe groups. There have been demo events recently, Likey helped at one of them, and there've been actual demo events at card cons for Square Enix giving away product, and there's now actual TCG sleeves and TCG playmats on the Square Enix store. There's incredible shit happening.
Yeah,
but it's why does it not marry up with
I don't understand. Yeah, that's the bit where I'm a bit blindsided because you see all this stuff coming out, and I'm going, wait a minute. I've been asking for the longest time to get involved in demoing and go down to these card things and stuff like that, and now I'm hearing that there's these stores not stores but pop-up stores for demoing coming up in these cons. I'm when did that happen? When was that mentioned? I think it was mentioned once, and I didn't know what else was happening. But as much as that's great, and I absolutely love it for the game, I'm just if the general population of the FFTCG community isn't aware that this is happening, where does that leave everyone else? Do you know what I mean? And then
it's just a small thing, so the person organising it presumably just wouldn't bother to.
Yeah, generally stuff like demo booths are generally not for us. It sounds really bizarre, but demoing is not for players who already play the game, obviously. So it's kind of
yes,
it's more that it will get its traction via footfall at the con that it's at.
I agree with that, but I think there's always a nice thing of going, oh my gosh, they're actually showing our game. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. There's a thing of going, oh wow, yes, we're able to show our game, because I think that's the thing that I've always cared about within this game is that representation is given to the game, and if say you're doing demos, and I know they are small, like you say, they're just the isolated little things that happen. At cons or events. I know that they did UK Expo once, and I was just that's really cool. But it's not necessarily... in my eyes, I'm going, I'd love to know where our game's been shown. And you can do it in local game stores and stuff like that, but if you're doing it at big card event, big card cons, conventions and stuff like that, because I know that, didn't they do it in for Final Fantasy 14 sort of convention?
Yeah, they did it at the FF14 Fan Fest in UK. I can't speak for the other Fan Fest that happened that year because I didn't go to them, but yeah, they did it there, and I didn't see anything other than on the show floor map when I got there.
Yeah,
I was oh my god.
Yeah. But that's it. I think your reaction just then, going, oh my gosh, they're showing my favorite card game at this place, and you just kind of go, well, I would like to know. What's happening for the game and where it's happening.
For the one that's just happened, there was a Facebook post prior, but I don't think there's anything than that.
I don't know. That's my opinion about the game, is that I always want to know what's happening, where it's happening, because I want to know how well they're pushing it. I think most of the time.
We love to see actual marketing and promotion.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I'm glad it happened. Not saying
get as much as you could.
It's going in the right direction.
Exactly. I'm not saying I'm not trying to knock it in that way. I'm glad that it's happened. I'm very glad that it's happened.
I think like for me, it's always like people like Alec are doing their best and stuff.
Absolutely.
But like, I think it's ultimately down to the big wigs whether actual powerful marketing happens.
Yeah. Damn those big wig wearers.
Take cats, big wigs. And,
take them off and be normal. Yeah. I think I also think though that Square Enix as a whole have been struggling to push the FF franchise. Like, wasn't Rebirth like a bit of a flop in some cases?
Rebirth flops compared to projected numbers.
Yeah, and so I think that it could fall that way in a lot of ways.
Rebirth is also very divisive. I've found like people either love it because they love Final Fantasy VII and I don't know, I don't know what it is. They're not invested. They just love everything. I'm not sure. And some people just absolutely hate what they've done to it. And I'm annoyingly in the latter half, which really annoys me. But I wanted to love it, but I haven't played another video game since I finished Rebirth a month ago. Yeah, like it annoyed me that much that I'm now worried any game I play is going to waste my time in a similar fashion. Wow. It's like, but it's only the gameplay is beautiful. Like, gameplay is beautiful. The remake, like, combat is awesome. It's like really good.
I would agree.
The combat is so awesome, and they make really fun, challenging bits. But the story is like a waste of time. It's like literally imagine you like you're watching an FFTCG game and you look at the table and it's like both people at damage 6, amazingly tense board state. You go to the toilet, you come back and they've just left the building. You don't know what's happened, and it's just this Schrodinger's game that you never know how it ended because they just didn't show you, and you're like, oh.
I think that sometimes that's the thing in. They even have a special word for like ambiguity in Japan, don't they?
Oh God.
So maybe like I don't know.
They have a lot of words for a lot of things that we just go, what?
Because I know one of my favourite authors, Haruki Murakami. This isn't particularly relevant, but some of his stories end just with like. They just end.
They're just in
the middle of something. So like in narrative terms, you're like, well, that was unsatisfying.
Is this it? It says from Google. It says in Japan, there's an appreciation for the unspoken and the subtle, embodied by the concept of amai. Amai.
And which means they're never direct with things. But this isn't too relevant. But apparently, like if you're like an English teacher in Japan, and your lesson plans aren't very structured, they'll just hint at it, but they won't tell you directly. So like they'll be like, oh, that was interesting.
So like you play some cards onto the field, and I'm like, so what? Tell me more about your deck, and you're like, unspoken. Appreciate the unspoken board state.
And they'll think you should be wearing a shirt, and they'll be like, are you cold today? You seem to be very cold, aren't you? Instead of just saying, why are you wearing a shirt?
That's
oh God.
That's sounds like the most passive nation in the world.
But that just sounds like how I like govern my life. I don't want to tell people how to do stuff, but I just sit there going, like the bins are tomorrow. Yeah.
I've
got to take the bin. I did the bins last week.
My missus would say that is actually fits my personality to a T. Like, just I can't be assertive at all, so I just use passive aggressiveness to get around my life.
But now we can say that
it's subtlety.
It's subtlety.
Am
I? And we embody the unspoken.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, it's good to have some non-TCG trivia.
But yeah, I genuinely believe, like, with the way that Square Enix have conducted themselves over the last few years with Final Fantasy as a franchise itself. It seems like, just like it is, it feels unspoken. It feels like, well, what's happening? What is going on? We don't really know what's going on.
When you look at the game, clearly, is it successful? You can see it. You're like,
but you're not telling us the actual truth of the matter. It's like, what's going on? But yeah, in general terms, I think it would be lovely to have some people like Jack see there's a card game in our store and go, ooh, and then come and investigate. And if we had more promotional tools like POS, I've gone on about this forever, but POS or posters and that sort of stuff.
You think that was like super basic, wouldn't you?
You think
posters and POS.
You think that would be standard for a
card? It's unspoken.
Yeah, they want you to discover it in mysterious ways.
But yeah, no, you're not wrong. It would be. I mean, that's what Jordan said when Jordan joined. He was like, and this was more from like YouTuber second-hand perspective of like, there's not even top 50 deck profiles of the competitive season on YouTube. But then I guess that is at a detriment to actual promotion, I suppose. So a lot of head-bobbing then.
So yeah, no, I think if we finally get around to knowing the dates of stuff, we can start planning our stuff and actually promoting it ourselves. I think, because that's kind of what it comes back to is community-led.
Well, somebody said that in our locals chat. Like last year, Ant just made his own spreadsheet and we shared it on Facebook group, and everyone loved the spreadsheet with the dates and the venues. So we'll probably do that again.
Ant, where are you? We need you.
Ant's already said that.
So sad that Ant isn't in Nottingham anymore.
Ant said he'll do that.
He gets bullied by McNulty now.
Yeah. A fate worse than death.
Get milled to the face.
Shall we move on to? I'm thinking we've done lots of serious talks. We move on to the fun guess the card.
Hell yeah!
And then we can finish after with our main different topic afterwards.
Yeah, sure thing.
So it's my guess the card. Somebody needs to get a timer up so we don't spend too long.
Sam's the clock man. I'll get the timer.
I will say that this card is a little bit easier than like previous weeks, but I did that partially to save my brain, and I thought maybe we should make it easier.
What did we say? It was 15 minutes last time.
I'll try not to look at your glasses. You've got it on the screen.
Reflection.
Yeah, what was it? What was it you said?
Metagaming.
So Jono and I were playing. I know Sam and Jono were playing a game, and I was standing behind Jono, and Sam was like, "When you're so competitive, you're looking in your friend's glasses to see if you can see the opponent's hand in their reflection."
If you're that sweaty.
Yeah.
So did we say 15 minutes?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, go for 15.
Right.
But I don't think you'll need 15, but we'll see.
Hint already.
So let me open up.
Tell me when to press play.
Yeah, no, go for it. You can start. I'm ready.
Go.
All right. Is it in water, wind, fire, or dark?
Okay, I'm going to fuck this up. I can't remember those. Water, wind, fire, or dark?
Yeah.
No, it is not in water, wind, fire,
click, click.
or dark. It's fine.
Tapping the answers into...
Yeah, because I have to do this, I remember. Yeah.
So, water, wind, fire, or dark. So we've got ice and lightning. Is it in ice and lightning?
Wait.
You do?
Wait.
So
what?
we know it's in.
So I thought we
ice,
chopped it up.
lightning, earth, or light, right?
No, you said
It is not in water, wind, fire, or dark.
So I said ice and lightning.
Yeah.
So explain what the next four?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we
We do this every time.
No, I'd say it's a good guess.
Okay. Is it in ice or lightning?
Yes.
There you go. Nice.
So
Yeah. Is it in ice?
No.
lightning it is.
So you know that it's in lightning.
So that's 3 questions down. So is it a forward?
It is a forward.
There we go.
Sweet.
Is it from between, including Opus 25 and Opus 14?
No.
Pre-Opus 14.
Ooh, very cool. Is it so pre Opus 14?
Mm-hmm.
Is the power? I need to break down the sort of like.
I'd say in power you go.
4.
Is it like
it's 5
7K or below kind of thing?
7K or below. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Would you say
7K or below?
No.
9,
8
so
or
that's
9?
8, 9, or 10 in lightning.
Don't think there's any lightning 10K cards, is there? No, there isn't.
Probably not.
No.
I don't know.
So 8 or 9. Right. So what next?
We can
What do you whittle
refine that
down?
further.
That's 6 questions you've had.
Yeah.
What do we whittle down now?
We haven't done rarity or anything like that.
Rarity and CP and category is just ridiculous. Can't guess category. And it's 14 or below. Oh, no, less than 14. Like
13.
Opus 13 and
to
below.
1. Okay.
Correct.
Jeez. That was a lot of opuses.
Should we say, is it 8,000 power?
No.
9,000
probably
power.
9,000 power.
9,000 power, I think it is.
Big lightning person.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me think of the image of lightning herself with address and the 2 swords. You know, the 7-drop where you.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was
that's a hero. Yeah.
I feel like that's an Opus 13 card.
Is it either a hero or a legend?
Yes.
Ooh, is it a hero?
No.
So it's a legend.
Oh, okay, it's a legend. So it's not that one.
That's pretty. So I'm thinking of all the 9K legends that we've got.
I wonder when was Thanos printed?
Thanos was Opus 10?
Yeah.
Opus 9, 10?
Yeah.
I feel like
Phil did a giggle. Does that mean it's Thanos?
I'm having to like cover my mouth because my poker face is so bad today.
Okay, so is the cost of the card 4 CP or more?
Yes. Yes, it is.
There's not many 9Ks that cost 3 or less, is there?
No, there's definitely you've definitely got. Oh man,
So we know. Did we work out it was a legend or?
it's a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a legend lightning card that's before Opus 14.
10 questions left.
And
No, sorry, you've had 10 questions.
And 10 questions. So technically 10 questions left.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
So
I mean,
I can
it's
think of like Thanos. What other stompy shit is there?
oh no, it won't be multi-element, will it? Because you said no to water. So, gosh,
You know that it is definitely lightning from what you asked.
yeah. That flooded my brain when I was like, oh, is it Thancred?
Is it from Opus 9 or earlier?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
big 9K from that's a legend. Yeah, this could be like this could be original Opus 1 Golbez.
It could be 8 CP Golbez.
Well, we know that the giggle wasn't actually a giveaway, so that's good.
Or was it a giveaway?
What other legends are there?
Oh my gosh.
Well, if it was, then it was wrong.
I'm trying to go through all of my knowledge of those early opuses, and I.
So wait, that's you've had another question, yeah. So that's...
9 or below.
9 or below. Can we go down further? We
can, yeah. You can split that in half.
So do you want to go
4 or below?
I feel like 6. I don't know.
You can just split it in half.
Go on.
So 5 or 4.
So is it Opus 5 or below?
Yes.
Still got Golbez right there.
Yeah, he's smiling at us.
5 or below.
I can't. Yeah, Opus 5. You had.
Was it Zemus?
Zeramus. Was it Zeramus?
Zemus.
Yeah. And then you had. Opus 4 was. Dang, my brain is frazzled about.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the early big boys, and there was that one that dulled 2 forwards, but that was, I think it was 8K power, and it was like FF12 guy, really random. I don't know if you remember that card.
No, just 2 forwards.
Yeah, like dulls 2 forwards. I couldn't remember if it did it on attack phase or just entry. But we used to pay the big bucks to dull 2 forwards.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, this isn't doing it for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much time we got, Jono?
We've only got 8 minutes. So I mean, we've
8 minutes and 8 questions.
Yeah, 8 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
not bad. So
is it between Opus 3 or below?
Yes.
Ooh.
Should we just guess Golbez? That's one of our answers. Opus 3, Opus 2.
What were the Opus 3 legends that were lightning?
Opus 3 legend. I can only remember VV for some reason. Like, that's not Opus. That's lightning. That's fire. And there was Lock in that set. There was Genesis. I'm thinking of the ones that were actually good.
Yeah.
Why is my brain stuck on Opus 3?
I can never remember Opus 2 cards as well, gotta admit.
My favourite Opus 2 card is just Fire Godot.
Yeah,
Great
it's a good card.
Yeah.
I remember opening so many of that Earth Vincent legend.
So you've got 7 questions left. It is a lightning forward from Opus 3 or below. It's a 9K plus. It's a legend 4CP plus.
Cool. Fuck it. Is it Golbez?
Yes. So, for everyone else, it is Opus 1 Legend Golbez 6 CP Lightning. When Golbez is put from the field into the break zone, you may search up to 4 forwards of cost 2, each of a different element, and play them onto the field.
Now let's look at Opus 3 cards.
their auto abilities will not trigger. Like, I don't know, I just... like, love this. When I started
I used
TCG,
to play the hell out of this thing.
and I just read it and go, it's not a bad card. Like, it is. I love Opus 1 cards and like Opus 2 cards with that. You know, like the category bits, like a little oval instead of like a slash. I just love those. If I can have those as playable in a deck, I always want them.
Let's look at Lightning Legends.
Oh, they're there now. They're just like, we've got to know about the like other.
Yeah, I know.
Why is my brain forgetting these things?
I'll look as well then. I can.
Oh, so you could have had a deer. No, that was a 7 buff. So we had a deer, lightning.
Yeah, there's this lightning from Opus 1. She's a 9k.
Oh, was it Ammon?
It was Ammon that I was thinking about. Yeah.
Ammon.
All right,
choose one forward, dull it
when it enters, and then you can dull every turn.
It's amazing actually how so Opus 1 Lightning also fits that description.
Yeah,
I didn't realise that.
And Opus 3 is that X Death?
Opus 3 X Death. Opus 3 X Death fits the bill.
That's why I forgot about X Death and Ramza in Opus 3 because they were just apart from obviously Mr. Cool probably championing,
isn't it?
obviously because of. Mr. Cool championing X Death from way back when. I just never saw it played.
Oh yeah, and then there's Stealth Thanos. So there was like literally 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that fit the criteria, and then when you went to like Opus 9 and below, it took it down to like 3 cards.
So did we say we didn't guess any further CPs? Did we? Because a deer was one of them, wasn't it? Like that fit. Why did I?
She's a 6k.
Yeah, she's a 6k, so she never fit that.
But we never guessed.
You did guess power.
Yeah, power, but I thought it was like 5 or more, wasn't it?
4 or more CP.
4 or more, okay.
4 CP or more. So it could have been Ammon technically, but he's an 8k. Who else?
Yeah.
Zemus.
That deer in the Legacy box. No,
Rufus.
is nice and... Rufus?
Well, as in Rufus is another 4 CP plus legend, but it doesn't fit the power requirement.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
Why isn't it was just like a little bit easier?
Nice to get one that we could actually guess. We get bullied on the last few.
Yeah, because people have now realised you can just pick like a common backup from Opus 6. Like,
It's fun watching people squirm.
Card knowledge is crazed.
I was so sad I didn't get that PV last week. Or last month, sorry.
I know, we were like so close, and James is just like, you got it right, and I'm sitting there going through main characters.
Yeah. I'm just like dying.
Honestly, now I've got all the Lightning Legends up. I'm very sad for Lightning in general. Like, I just look at them.
Like, all these cards suck.
Welcome to being a Lightning player.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them going, I'm so sorry for BM off K. And
BM off K reads like a Lightning version of Durando to me. Like, Durando's like so big and manly, and you're like, yeah, he gets things back, but he's just terrible.
I really, 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 really wanted Black Waltz 3 to actually be like decent, and it was just mid. Complete mid. And it's so sad to see.
He's just like, have great removal for half the cards.
and like even with Cypher,
now you fill your whole deck with removal to do anything.
Like even Cypher and Ultimecia from Opus 22, it was that was potential.
I bought 3 of that at the start of the set and never sleeved it the whole set.
There's so much potential, and now I look at Zach and I look at Reno and I go, oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like you're just not gonna get the chance to perform, unfortunately. Soldiers, as I say, is kind of like nah.
Wait, you mean new Reno, or is this?
Yeah, new. From the set, the new Zach.
New Reno is busted. New Reno is scary.
I need proof. I need to see this.
Yuna dolls two. Light Yuna dolls 2 cards. Reno triggers twice.
Gotcha.
Zeramus dolls your opponent's entire board. Reno triggers. A fuck ton.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of dulling that happens is just crazy. Like your Kuja play, LB Kuja, force a card to dull, just ping. It's like, oh. Yeah.
No, I think that I was interested in putting that Reno with promo Zach, which on attack swing does something. Deal 5k, Reno deals 4k. You know, that was an option.
Well, there's also
kill a 9k for 1 swing. I thought that would be fun.
I'm going to read it when I take off the filter that I've got on. There's a Rude that is really not new Rude either. So Opus 615 starter Rude. At the beginning of the attack phase, during each of your turns, if you control 4 or more Turks, dull all the forwards your opponent controls. Reno just goes kills, just like fartboard away.
Yeah, well, it's only 4K. That's the thing.
Is it? Let me read Reno, because sometimes with those dull everything effects, it'll only trigger effects like that once.
I feel like it's only 4K though. Yeah, it's only 4K, which
Oh, is Reno only?
Reno is only ping is only 4K.
Yeah, it adds up. When an active forward opponent controls becomes dull due to someone's abilities.
Yeah. So if you do,
I think
it would trigger for each one.
Yeah, because it's like
if it says when one or more, then it only triggers.
Yes, because it's like Raiden, Revenant Wings, and Ramu, Lord of Levin. So yeah, they all dull, and each of them goes on the stack. Each forward that is dulled creates a ping.
But that's the thing. If you have like those two out with Reno and Zach, promo Zach, have them out, play LB Sephiroth, and then that's 9K ping 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 ping.
Yeah, yeah. You see, you've just sold Reno to yourself.
I suppose
if that Sephiroth gets amattered, you're crying.
It's just setting it up there. That's the thing. It would just be setting up, which is just the pain, I think. But also, I think isn't LB Sephiroth's end of turn thing mandatory?
Yeah.
So
you have to kill your own shit.
You have to kill your own shit. Yeah. But hey ho. That was good. Well done. I enjoyed trying to guess Opus 1 cards and filtering through my long-term memory for card knowledge.
Me being like, Amon, was that a hallucination? Did we really pay 4 for a card that enters the field and dulls 1 and then waits a turn to be able to dull 1 again? We looked at that card and thought, I'm going to push so much damage.
And that's when you go to like you in the past and you just drop like a single Opus 25 card and ruin the time continuum.
But the irony of the situation was two sets before you had the Kate Sith for 1 CP EX play 1 CP Kate Sith dollar thing. It's just like what world are we living in?
Why don't I play Amon and play Kate Sith?
Exactly. When everyone opens their packs, get an Amon and just go ugh. So yeah, you wanted to have a specific topic that you were also interested in talking about.
Yeah, so we had a bit of feedback on the last podcast that we had with James, and sometimes it's nice to not just talk about the latest goings on and stuff, but actually like see into like the technical minds of people. So like James is very technically minded and I can
leave now, my mind's like play cards.
I was gonna say I can leave. Yeah, I can leave too. It's fine. Just replace us with like monkeys and symbols. And things. But people said it's nice to sort of people that do think in a technical way to see the inner workings of their mind, and also like, and I said in a group chat recently that I love being able to like apply academic mind to stuff. Basically nerd.
Yeah.
But and I'm willing. I'll start it off by a bit like a QI moment where it goes like woo. Like so, it's sort of like I've always had it as a newer player. I've not actually known what the words curve meant. It doesn't exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's my only frame of reference. I played Magic casually with friends who never like learned Magic. Mm-hmm. For me, I always thought curve was like backup searching backup. QI noise goes off. Woo! That's not what it is. But I recently had it explained to me by Steve, and then had a bit of a Google and things like that. The curve is actually in FF specific context what they were explaining to me. So this isn't the actual definition, but this is just the mind changing moment for me, which is actually more about playing an even cost card, and then the next turn you can play an odd cost card, and you're never wasting any CP that way because it's like it's the peak of efficiency. And so this kind of, I've never looked at a deck list before. I've always looked at a deck list and gone, oh, it has to be backup searching backups, and then after that I'm kind of happy to happily draw into them. But ever since I've been told this odds into evens, I've just like dissected every single deck list I've looked at differently, and suddenly gone, that's crazy. It doesn't even have to search a backup. It's just the concept of like talking about, I guess. So what I want to talk about is not curve, because it's not just curve, but a concept like curve and CP efficiency in FF. Why it's important and what does it lead? What else do you learn when you start to look at playing efficiently?
I think the thing that I think of most is that when we came into playing this game, people had points of reference from other card games, like you said, and obviously the biggest one that has taken a lot of characteristics from is Magic, and in Magic you get floating CP or floating mana. So in the ether you create the mana, then play from the pool that you've created.
Yeah.
And in this you don't get that, and I think that's where the card efficiency and the need to be able to play curve comes more into play, because say overpaying for stuff definitely feels like it's hurting you, because your resource is not efficient, like you said, the efficiency of it is not there anymore. So it does feel like I am struggling to meet your efficiency. If you're playing against me and you're playing on curve, playing the right CP for the right amount, and I'm having to go, well, I can't meet that requirement yet, so I'm having to pay 4 for a 3 CP backup searcher thing. As much as that 1 CP shouldn't really matter, effectively in the long term, it adds up. And I'm just like, I'm just like,
every turn you're just like not using a CP. You feel it eventually.
And because in this game it's cards are out of hand to pay costs, then cards in hand become more and more valuable. I'm speaking very, very much basic knowledge on this game, but like cards out of hand means cards in hand more valuable, and it's I think that sort of playing I've found very hard to do. Like I've looked at the card and go, I've only got 3 CP. I've got cards of 3 CP in my hand. I have to play something, and it's going to really hurt to discard 2 for.
It's funny. There's so many players out there who like they have a 3 CP searcher backup, and they're like, I don't want to play 4 for it, and I'm like, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Like obviously it's better when you play it on curve, as they say, with like dulling a backup, but it's fine. And like it's cool that when you're considering your backup curve in FFTCG, there's different ways to do it. I know like Lyndon in our community, he'll sometimes run a deck with just all even costed backups, which I really like, because you've got a plan. You're like, I'll never play one of my backups one at a time. And like you'll obviously, especially if you've got a couple of searches and everything's even costed, you can just be like, play 2 backups, and you're on even costed plays all the time, so your lines of play in a really nice way. And also alternatively, you could build a deck with all 3 drop backups that either draw or search a card, and that way you're forcing, like, okay, you pay 4 for one, you're fine, and you've always got the option to have that nice efficient 3 CP play. But the usual deck build is a mix of like 2 drops, 3 drops, maybe some 4 drops, isn't it?
And that's where it comes into your, the general sort of idea that you had about backup curve. That was the only idea that you had, was going play a 4 CP, search a 3 CP player card. Sarah into your Edgar, play another thing that's backup curve because that's efficient, right?
And then it made me look at lists differently as well. Again, this is just in the eyes of someone that's like not built properly before and stuff. And then I started, every list I've looked at, I've gone, oh, how many even cost backups do I have? And how many odd cost backups do I have? Oh, it's highly likely I'm going to draw into an even cost, and in turn 2, I'm totally cool to stumble into it. But then when I asked myself the question of why can't I, like Sam's kind of just hinted at, like, I asked myself the question of why can't I just build a deck that's purely 3 cost backups, all of them either draw or search. Like, and they'll always pay back themselves, so they're all essentially one CP. I'm just saying question marks.
Pseudo 1 CP.
They're all pseudo 1 CP, so I don't really care if I pay or not. But the only thing I then, and this is more just from a new player net decking perspective, of I then kind of went, okay, but why are things built the way they are? Like, why do most efficiently curved decks have either dig backups or search backups? And it's because they are the most likely to hit those even into odds. They're most likely to go Claris search for Epitaph. That's like,
it's so common in control decks to have that backup searcher that goes into an odd costed.
Exactly. So like I say, you got Sarah into King Tycoon. It's always going to have that sort of thematic jumpstart and into your backup building.
Elf into wedge.
Elf into
wedge.
Elf into wedge.
Sam's just like doing the chef's nice.
It had some great games today with that.
I mean, to be fair, you're right. Like I regretted having to pay 6 for Joseph, but I got 2 backups out of paying 6.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, in an ideal world, having paid 2 CP for one, and then pay 5 for the Joseph to tap and get into get 3. I think I've always felt comfortable in my games and felt like I can move forward with my games if ever I'm in 3 backups, because should an odd cost come down, I can pay even, then an odd. You know, like pay 4 CP, then a 3 CP if I wanted to, or pay 3 CP and a 1, or you know, you can pay your 5 CP with 3 backups. It's that sort of feeling of now I've got the right amount to play the game that's efficient and working for me. But you know, getting to that point, setting up and starting your first turns is like, it hurts just a little.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying, especially when you search out something and, you know, refunding you the card that you've just discarded, overpaid effectively.
But I guess the way it's changed my mind now is I didn't feel I was able to, and this might be a couple of our newer players, I didn't feel able to like build a deck properly when I was like looking at a deck idea. Let's say it was a really crap deck idea and it's not well supported with it's not supported with the most efficient and backup curve of backup search backup, you know, odd search even. I'm looking, it's really jank idea and I'm going, this just isn't possible because it quote unquote doesn't have curve. It's like, now that I know that, I can take a really janky idea that doesn't have Clara search epitaph and I can still give it curve because now I understand what it means.
Yeah.
And it's kind of this tier list for me if I go, okay, can I access in this deck I'm building a generic backup search backup? No. Can I access backup dig backup, so like minor or, you know, earth minor which digs 5?
Yeah.
Or the other good example would be
Ricard
from lightning. You know, water, you've got loads like what is Loperit just draw or is it look at 2?
No, yeah, look at 2.
So Loperit's like good for look at 2. You've got Astrologian, look at 3. So these are all like good. And for me, I've now developed in my brain, I don't know if it's right or not, but it's helped me this like tier list of like efficiency cards that how to build.
That makes sense.
So now I'm not as put off anymore when I'm building because I'm not all of a sudden just like, this deck doesn't have Miyu Mutsuki, it's shit. Like, because then I looked at Magissa again recently and now I'm playing Magissa and I was like, they're all 2 CP. Curve, like, oh my god, now I know why they're all 2 CP. Like, this is insane. You know, so
I think that was before anything came about of backup searching backup. It was always got to play the 2 CP 2 CP backup first to start your curveball. But you know, the way that things are going, like you say, you've just been able to get refunded cards. Like even just playing what are they? Soldier cadets? Not soldier cadets.
Candidates.
Is it the candidate?
The FF7 fire backup card. Soldier
those ones.
Yeah.
You know, the new FF7 ones, which. I mean, even G-Deleter that drew you a card. You know what I mean? It's they're printing more of this.
we're in an era where there's so many like really good standard unit backups now at this point with like that previous printing and this set's printing. Like I love those candidates so much.
Yeah, and that's why I was thinking. I kept on thinking, I just want to build a deck that only has like those in it. And because theoretically I never have to worry about curve because they're all pseudo 1 CP cards, like, and they're hyper efficient, but they're just not. It's not wow. It's not good wow factor and impact. But then what I realised in my little tier list of thinking is if I hypothetically built a deck that only had these pseudo 1 CP cards, they are hyper efficient, but they do not dig. They effectively dig 1 card. Like it's really, you are to build a deck that does not really care about dig consistency and it has no search apart from forward based searching. So I was like, it kind of, I just developed a bit better of a rhetoric purely from having this conversation.
Kind of reminds me of like, there's a tension, like going back to what you're saying, there's a tension between what the backup does. Like, you know, you play in FF7, you play all these FF7 backups to power up Barrett versus the most efficient backups, right? If it was like in Mono Water, you've got such an efficient backup line and they're all generic, you know, you're not like, I need this backup to do this thing.
Yeah.
they're all just backups. Like,
Well, that's what. Yeah.
and then
'cause
you got your standard units that come in for free.
Yeah,
that type of
I think that's why we've seen the influx or more sort of prolific backup lines of being more mono, leaning towards the more mono style of things.
Yeah, just because you got your 4 walls, right, where you
Yeah.
need this, like, you're like, oh, let's have this awkward backup line of different colours, but obviously it's surprisingly smooth. But you know, you're like, oh, I have to play 2 CP Lena, I have to play 3 CP. What's his name? King
Tycoon.
King Tycoon.
Yeah, I have to play. Some people play Claris. I think most of them do.
Yeah.
Some of them play Edgar. Some of them don't.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so some people opt for Tyros and
Yeah.
Ingus's. Is there only? Is it Ingus the fire? No, Luneth.
Luneth. So
Is
I've
there
seen
only
Ingus
fire
and some.
ones?
Ingus
I
and
mean,
some
that's a
variants.
great example of a very tense backup line right here.
Yeah,
But that's
Like-
a really, your phrase there, I think, is a really great phrase, though, for people to think about when you're building. And I love the way you did it. You have to bear in mind the tension between the function of your backups as well as like I can't think of the other end of the spectrum, but like, I guess the efficiency,
Yeah, just pure efficiency.
like pure efficiency versus the actual function. Like, and it made me think of Cat 6 when like I took Big Lock out of my deck, and then literally everyone says, "Why aren't you running Big Lock?" And it's like, because I need Emina to search for Setzer, because Setzer is not searchable.
Yeah.
Setzer is only off of lock, reveal top 4, add a Cat 6 character, and Water Strago, which not all lists run. Like for me, that tension of, do I take Big Lock out because I want to search the single best backup in the deck?
Yeah.
Like, of course I do, and it was not even on curve because it's 4 into 2, but you can probably pay for it evenly anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been such an eye-opening thing that I genuinely can at least look at I can dissect a deck much better now than I could prior. Like, you saw me sit down with Jack and like hyper over explain his list, and I felt really bad, but
I mean,
it's been eye-opening.
It also reminds me of how much I was getting into dig backups, like maybe 2 sets ago. Like, you know, when we had Reeve and everything.
When you were playing Cockern as well, you played that.
Cockern. I was like trying to support Tyvas with Cockern, which was fun. But one card that's incredibly powerful in this regard, very old card, is Artemisian.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, I can dig 3. Baderon, I can dig 4. Artemisian, 3 fucking mulligan. Like, you're like, what?
Oh yeah.
Dig 6.
Yeah.
And then Fire's like sitting there with like Sid 11, dig 2. No, yeah, was it
dig 3.
Dig 3.
Throw 2 of them in the break zone.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that might work in some sort of weird Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, does that Sid work with
Yeah, it does work with
Cat-8, yeah.
It does work with the what are they called, disciplinary members.
Yeah, because you're looking at them; they're still technically in the deck.
Fujin Raijin.
Fujin Raijin, because right when you're put from deck to break zone.
Which Sid are we talking about?
Sid 11 backup. It's a 4 CP backup that looks at the top 3. You take one, and then you put the other that is in the break zone.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Or it
my,
can give
my
you
mind's
forward
catching up.
power.
Yeah.
Which no one ever does.
Yeah, and then the best digger after that is like a Malja, which is like top 2.
Yeah,
and
they
I'm
have
like,
to be
and
fire
I'm like,
cards.
why is Fire just so sad on the dig?
Nail was a dig.
Yes.
It had to be if they,
They had a forward that was good, right? There was a Marsh that digged 5.
Marsh, yeah, which is played in like the Luso lists and stuff.
You just play it for it because it's an EX mostly.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I guess it was like Jono, so I wanted to bring it up. It was more just like interesting to talk about, but like also like I've had my moment and gone, let's share the moment, have more people think critically about their decks.
I mean,
stuff.
you wouldn't be. I wouldn't necessarily feel too bad if you went deck building is so fucking hard at this time of the game. You know what I mean? Like, I feel it, and just looking at the card pool that we've got now, and I just go, where do you begin? Like, you
That's
see,
funny because I'm sat here like I've got deck ideas.
Yeah, the thing is, I have deck ideas, but those deck ideas start with 3 cards, and I go, well, I don't know what to put with the rest of them. You know what I mean? I don't know how to fit these 3 cards into a workable deck.
It's an absolute art, and there's only a handful of people who can do it well. You know?
I'm
Like, how
literally-
many people build fresh decks and like win tournaments with them?
Yeah. Like
Literally a small handful.
the majority of the time is just coming down to time of testing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think these sorts of concepts, even if you don't deck build, like for me, I don't deck build really, you can at least dissect a deck and make more educated changes.
Yes.
Whereas what I'd do before, and I've done it with Magissa, like recently, I've gone, I'm taking out the brand new Opus 25 Ifrit for the free cast Ifrit. It's a really bad example because it's summons and not backups. But if I did the same thing and wanted to take out certain backups, I now feel a bit more educated of like, if I'm going to take them out, I can at least properly consider like curve and odd costs and even costs, and am I taking out a card that was previously searchable or digging? Like I've got just that bit of stuff that I took completely for granted before.
Yeah.
Completely for granted. I don't know why that didn't sound like it was English, but it was.
It's a sentence.
But yeah, so it's one of those things of like, I'd love, and it's been something that's been like in one or two like groups that I'm in where people have been like, oh, it'd be cool to like talk about these things more, but like I'm definitely not like educated enough, but I love this academic talk. So I think maybe it might be a thing like we had McNulty on. It'd be cool to like get guests on who think differently and stuff like that in the future.
Pick the brains of some interesting people. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So if we see you at an event, or you're like, hey, I've got a thing I want to talk about, and it would be cool, let us know, and we'll gladly.
We can work
see
something
what
out.
we can do.
I mean, we haven't tried the Discord thing yet, where we got someone on Discord voice, and us here. I think that'd be quite
quality there. Sound quality, man.
There'll be a technical blend of massive like
we can
brain fuckery.
It'd be interesting to see, but we can definitely sort of accommodate that sort of stuff. But yeah, so you're basically what I'm saying is you are now going to see me playing the list of 50 shit cards because I think I can deck build. And I'll be like, yeah, look at these cards that efficiently search each other and do nothing.
I am playing
good
curve.
on gold.
Yeah, I'm playing on curve. This deck is meant to feel good to play, not win.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
well, it's been good to have us all back around.
Hell yeah.
Not necessarily having. I mean, guests are lovely. Don't get me wrong, but back with the boys.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's been good. But yeah. Well, whoever it is, give us some dates and we'll see you at the next event.
Yeah, I was going to say, whenever we see people at events, yes.
Yeah, give us some dates and we'll probably see you.
Hell yeah. It'd be amazing to see the community at some like competitive events.
Exactly. Maybe we'll have some come our way. Be nice. We'll host for once.
Yeah.
That's been a while.
Yeah.
Be fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you again to the listeners. That was an
Absolutely.
enjoyable time.
Yeah. And hope to see you and get you on the next one.
All right.
Ciao for now.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.